Hello out there to all of my fellow gold diggers. This is your girl Rita, also known as the self-proclaimed gold digger. Welcome to my channel where I discuss my life as a wife, mom, entrepreneur, and business owner, all while trying to crush and achieve my goals. Thank you so much for joining me on tonight. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. I am so glad to have you. If you have seen me before, then definitely welcome back if you are a fellow gold digger or a fellow goal getter. And I do have to celebrate because we have reached 600 subscribers. So thank you so much to everyone who has supported my channel so far. And if you're not subscribed and you enjoy the content and you are liking what you see, then please make sure you do so, as well as give me a thumbs up because that helps spread my videos to more people and get the information out there as well. Okay. All right. So thanks so much. So I have been going live nightly at 9:30 p.m. this past week, actually starting on Saturday. And I'm going to continue to go live nightly at 9:30 for the remainder of the month. And I have been doing a series called Confessions of a Gold Digger or Confessions of a Business Owner, where I am sharing the lessons I've learned in business and the mistakes that I have made in business, in hopes that if you are starting a business, if you're venturing out into entrepreneurship, you can learn from what the mistakes I made so that you don't make those same mistakes in the future. So yesterday was a very good topic on marketing. We discussed that. On Monday I discussed my first business failure and the lessons I learned from that and how I kind of rebounded from that. And on Tuesday, I was like, what did I talk about on Tuesday? Tuesday, I discussed about how to take rejection in business and how to get used to someone telling you no, which led up to the marketing and how best to market to your ideal customer and everything. But today's topic is another key ingredient to business success, and that is having and providing great customer service. That is very, very, very important. And you would think providing good customer service would be pretty common, like it should be like common sense. But if so, I'm sure many of y'all have experienced going into a business and there was not good customer service. So why are so many different businesses lacking in customer service when it should be something that is very common and something that should happen naturally? Like the golden rule is like doing to others how you would want others to do unto you. And if you think about it, hey Queen, sorry y'all. Thank you so much for joining. It is so good to see you. This is one of my very, very good friends from childhood. So good to see you. I'm so glad you're joining because I'm hoping that Queen will be starting her business very, very soon. And I'm excited and I'm encouraging her in her business ventures as well. And I am going to be supportive of her as well. So let's go back to good customer service. So, what is the difference between good customer service versus bad customer service? Oftentimes, it's not anything major. Like, actually, tonight, I actually just experienced some bad customer service. And it's not like the person did anything necessarily wrong. They just usually don't have any personality. If you think about it, what differentiates Walmart from Target? Like, why do some people shop at Walmart, and why do some people say, "Oh, I'm one of those people. I avoid Walmart like the plague, and I pretty much only shop at Target. If you see me in Walmart, I'm going in, going out. I'm not trying to spend a whole lot of my money there." But why do some people support Walmart, and why do some people support Target? They pretty much sell the same products, right? They pretty much have a lot of the same items, and you could probably argue that some of the stuff at Target is a little bit higher, but some people are willing to pay a higher price because, for the most part, a lot of the Target locations have good customer service. Another example is the grocery store. A lot of people go grocery shopping at Walmart. I do not go grocery shopping at Walmart, or typically, unless I can't find anything. But I shop at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. That is my favorite grocery store to shop at, and they really do make shopping a pleasure. And it all boils down to their customer service. They don't have anything, majorly different than what Walmart might have or any other grocery store might have, but they do have good customer service. If you wander around in Publix too long and look like you lost, someone is going to come up to you and say, "Hi, can I assist you with something?" I mean, you could just be staring at a box a little bit too long, and someone sees you, and they're gonna walk up to you and ask you if you need some help. Versus at Walmart, no shade to anybody who works at Walmart, they are trying to avoid you, and like they don't even want you to want you to ask them a question or whatever. And it's like night and day when you go to these different stores, and it all boils down to good customer service. And even if you are not a business owner, or you are not an entrepreneur, or not even thinking about going into business ownership or entrepreneurship, you should still know about good customer service, because if you don't have your own business, you're probably working for a business, and you want to be a good reflection of the business and be providing good customer service to everyone who you encounter. I think what people fail to remember is that the customer is the one who is bringing you the business. So you need to take care of the customer. Don't take the customer for granted. I tell that to not my patients, my staff all the time. Like, we can't take these customers for granted. And I'll even share with my patient, like, I exist because you exist. So the more that they come, take it lightly that someone comes in and supports my business. I don't take it for granted that someone is coming in to support my business. I exist because they exist. And I want to make sure I'm nurturing and fostering the relationship. And part of that is just providing good customer service to them. Um, Another example is if you've been to a different restaurants, and you got a good waiter versus a bad waiter. If you look at the differences between the two, most of the time the waiter probably brought you the food like they were supposed to, but usually a good waiter, they're going to like make sure your drinks are refilled. They're just very attentive to you. So a lot of it is just common sense stuff, like taking note of what is going on with your customer so that you're anticipating their every mostly all of their every needs and everything. And that's what you have to do in business, is to make sure you are anticipating your customers' needs. I tell my staff all the time, we need to be proactive and not reactive. And what I mean by that is different situations arise in the office at all different times, but we can't let what's happening with with our different patients or our customers, or anything like that, deter us from the things that we need to do as an office, as a business. So be proactive instead of reactive. If you know that every time you give someone this particular paperwork, they have a question about something, then be proactive and go ahead and address that issue before they even ask the question or whatever. If you know that every time you do this particular test, the person is going to move, they're not going to sit still or whatever, then go ahead and address that. Say, hey, this is what is going to happen, but if you do just like this, everything is going to go smoothly. And that's what you have to do in your business. You have to kind of like anticipate what the customer is looking for, and think of yourself as the consumer. Like, if you were the consumer and you were coming into a business, and what are you looking for? What are you expecting? What questions do you think you would be asking? So put yourself in their shoes to try and see what the experience might be for them on the other end, and anticipate their needs. And that's the same thing that a good waiter does. Like, you don't ever have to ask for a refill. You don't ever have to ask for, oh, do you need more napkins or anything like that? Because they are observing, and they are looking, and they are anticipating your needs. They are being proactive instead of reactive. And it really does make your job so much easier, because you're not having to double back and do stuff just because, oh, the patient asked for this, or you have to respond to this, or anything like that. So even if you have an online business or actual physical brick and mortar business, if there are, I tell my staff all the time, like, if a patient is constantly asking you certain questions, then you need to go ahead and address those issues. If someone is calling on the phone to get our services or get an eye exam, anticipate the questions that they may be asking. And a lot of times when you do that, you're putting the customer at ease so that they know that you know what you're talking about, and they feel more welcome because everything that they possibly could have been thinking about, everything that they could have possibly been wanting to ask a question about, you've already addressed it. You've already answered it. So guess what? That makes you seem like an expert in what you are doing. It makes you feel like makes them feel more comfortable with you and wanting to do business with you. Okay. If you can make recommendations while you're doing something, not just saying you need to buy this product or whatever, or you need to get this particular service, you need to share the benefits of why this is helpful for to the person, why you think they would like it, why you think it would be best, or anything like that. We're like I said, I'm in the business of doing eye exams, but also in selling glasses. And oftentimes people try on glasses and you say yes or no or whatever. But usually if I'm telling you, yes, I love that pair of glasses on you, I'm not just saying yes, those look good on you. I'm saying why I like it. Maybe it complements your skin tone. Maybe it goes good with your hair. I'm saying all this different stuff. Now, I'm not making up lies. I'm actually telling the truth. Like maybe it complements the shape of your face or whatever. And same is true if I say I don't like a pair of glasses on you. Be like, hey, that color just doesn't look good on you, or hey, that shape doesn't look right on you. I'm giving them reasons why I'm not liking something or why I'm recommending something, so that they can trust me in what I'm doing. And they kind of expect for you to be the expert too. So they just don't want a cut and dry yes or no answer. They're going to want to know why this product or service is going to be beneficial to them, and anticipate their needs. And it's all about paying attention to the actual customer to know what is going on. Now, I really and truly think part of the reason why it is hard for some business to have good customer service is because many people are lacking in what I call soft skills, which is just kind of like Southern hospitality, like just being kind and being nice and saying, please and thank you and that kind of thing. And a lot of people are just like in their own little bubble, and they have like, I don't know, I don't want to generalize everybody, but it seems like people have like a lack of regard for other people, their feelings, their sentiments. Like no one is like aware of what the other person is going through, so much so. And I recently had this discussion with my staff. It's like people almost have to exaggerate their experiences for you to get it. Like you should have the soft skills and you should have the awareness to see like if someone is liking this or if someone is not liking this, to be able to head it off. It shouldn't like bubble up to the point where the person is getting angry or upset or whatever before you realize, oh my gosh, I kept this person waiting a little bit too long. Oh my gosh, this person doesn't like this particular thing. You have to look at those different things. And the same thing applies like in the restaurants and stuff like that. Like usually you get upset with the waiter because you like, man, my glass has been sitting empty for the past 5 minutes. She's walked by the table. She hasn't checked on us or anything like that. She rushed off or whatever. And I'm thirsty and I'm about to choke on my food. So it's like if they would have just paid attention to that, or even I always tell my staff too, even if you can't necessarily get to their issue, like if you see they might be having an issue or you see that something is going on, even if you can't address it at that particular moment, if you at least let them know like, hey, I see you, I understand, I know you've been waiting, I'm going to be right back with you, that kind of stuff. Same thing with the waiter, like, hey, give me a moment, I'm going to come back and refill your drink. Like people just really want to be seen, they want to be heard, they want to be understood. And even though if you can't fix it in the moment, just letting them know something like as simple as like, I see you, like that's pretty much what you're conveying. I see you, I see that you have a concern, and I am going to address it. And you're not saying that in so many words, but how your interaction is with them is saying that and is conveying that to them. So it's all about how you make people feel. And sometimes you can put people at ease, or you can put people at unease based off of what you're doing. People also pick up on your vibes. I always tell my staff too to stay in control of the situation. I always say we are the thermostat. We are not the thermometer. The patients do not set the temperature of our office, and that is not a disregard to the patients. Like when you come into my office, you are going to get a certain atmosphere because I have put a lot of time and attention into creating a certain atmosphere, a certain calm, a certain peace when you come in here. We're not going to be all frantic and running around and acting, crazy or whatever. It is going to be very nice and relaxing and, fun and upbeat. We're not going to be angry. And that is the atmosphere that we try to create most of the time. Sometimes you might catch us on a bad day, but even so, we want to create that. Even if it's a bad day, we don't want you to realize it because we've already created the atmosphere. So I always say we are the thermostat, not the thermometer. And the same thing applies when somebody comes in, upset or about something. I couldn't get seen at this other place, or couldn't find a parking space or whatever, and they come in already upset. I'm late for my appointment. I got to get to some another place or whatever. Like, hey, we are still a thermostat. Well, we are so glad that you were able to come in. We're going to get you worked in as soon as possible. Let me go ahead and get you your paperwork. Like, just because they're on 10 doesn't mean I have to get on 10. Like, I'm going to stay at a nice, cool, calm 2, and we're going to mellow it on out. And I'm going to bring you down with me to that level because I am not going there. And that's the same thing you have to do when it comes to customer service. You can't, if someone is upset, you can't be matching them at their level of upsetness, okay? You got to de-escalate the situation and bring it back down. That's another issue too with customer service. Customer service works, and if you do have good customer service works really, really well until you have an issue. Then you're like, oh my goodness, how should I handle this? And then you don't necessarily have a plan in place for how you were going to handle it. So think about the possible situations that could happen that could cause a customer to have a bad customer service experience or cause the customer to have an issue with your product or service, and see, if this was to happen, how would I address it? If this person did get upset, how would I address it as well? So, I mean, because we have incidences that occur in our office, many times or whatever. But the same thing, just like I said, I come in at a cool, calm 2, and we're going to address the issue and make sure all of us stay, level headed and try and address it as calmly as possible. But part of that too is just making sure their concern is heard, that you are listening to the patient, or excuse me, I say the patient, but you're listening to your customer. They don't want a know-it-all, okay? They want somebody who they feel like is actually taking their concerns to heart, not, no, we can't do this, no, we can't do that. Let's see. Hey, Ree. Hey, I'm about to say, hey, Ree. Hey, Nisi, how are you? Thank you so much for joining in and everything too. But what was I saying? But yes, you want to make sure that you keep it nice, calm, and level so that no one gets upset, no one takes anything out on you, and you can maintain your level of customer service. Now, the other thing I will say is when you can't do something for a customer, when you can't, maybe they've asked you, like, do you provide this? And you don't provide that particular service. I always say you need to follow up with what you can do. Don't say, oh, I'll use a common example. So in our office, we only take certain insurances or whatever. And I have tried to train my staff to address that. So if someone calls and asks, like, hey, do you take X, Y, and Z insurance? And we don't take that, be like, no, but we are happy to see you as a self-pay, customer. And we do have different specials going on at the office that can reduce the cost of your eye exam as well. So it's like, just those little words. We are happy to see you. Like, you want to set a positive attitude. You want to also, another good thing that many customer service people will advocate for is you want to engage the customer by their first name. So if you know, or not not necessarily by their first name, but by their name. So if you know the customer's name, you want to use it in conversation because that makes you more relatable to them. It makes them more comfortable to you. So if it's like Mrs. Jones, you want to refer to Mrs. Jones. Oftentimes, if I have to answer the phone or something like that and schedule an appointment, I'm going to be using your name in the conversation, like Mrs. Jones, what is your date of birth? Mrs. Jones, I have you set up for your appointment at such and such time. Like, I'm going to try and say your name at least 3 to 5 times in the conversation. Also, too, when I go back to saying like anticipating the customer's needs, if someone is new to our office or something like that, I'm going to ask them certain questions like, hey, do you know where our office is located? And then I'm going to give them directions to the office. So they're not asking me, hey, I'm new to the area, or I've never been to your office. What is the address for it? Or where are you located? I'm already anticipating that. And that's what I mean by saying being proactive instead of reactive. Anticipate all those little questions that your customers may be asking you. And sometimes that's going to take a little while, especially if you're just starting out in business. But usually you'll learn pretty quickly when people start asking you for certain stuff. I know in the notary business, I learned pretty quickly with COVID and everything going on, and some people have pets and stuff like that. I'm already anticipating when I do my confirmation call or whatever. I'm letting them know, I'm going to be wearing a mask due to COVID protocols and things of that nature. You are welcome to wear a mask if you choose to, but that is your home and that is of your choosing. Also, if you have any pets or small children, I kindly ask that you put them away during the signing so that there are no interruptions. So that is usually my spiel. Now, you see, I said things nicely. Like if you would kindly, and I tried to keep a nice, even tone when I said it, and I also gave an explanation for it. Not just like when I come, I need you to put on a mask, and I need you to put your pets and your children away, please and thank you. Like I didn't say it like that, and that was a little bit harsh. That was like dramatic or whatever. But I'm saying it calmly, nicely, but I'm also explaining why I'm doing it. And also if you can explain what if it's something that is controversial or something that you think you might get pushback with, you want to explain it in a way that shows that you are looking out for their best interest. You always want to convey you're trying to keep their best interest at heart, and it's not just, hey, we got these rules and we got these regulations. Yes, you do have these rules and regulations for reasons that are beneficial to the practice, but they don't care about that. Or excuse me, I say practice, but beneficial to the business. They don't care about necessarily what's beneficial to the business. They want to know, how is this beneficial to me? So when you explain certain stuff, you need to make sure you're conveying it of why it is beneficial for them to follow the certain protocols of your office and everything. I mean, we have people that will try to come bring in multiple family members and that kind of thing. What happens if we see too many people in a family at the same time? It throws off our schedule. It puts us behind, and we can't, I won't say we can't recover from it, but usually somebody is staying late, somebody's missing lunch, something like that. Now, when we explain that to people, we don't say, no, we need to be able to leave on time or whatever. We usually say, typically, we try not to schedule more than 2 family members at a time because it tends to be an inconvenience, especially if you have small children, because the children, they get tired and antsy. You have to speak in a language that is relatable to your customers so that they know what you're talking about and everything too. All right, so that I went over a lot of stuff. I'm making sure no one has any questions. If y'all have any questions about customer service, please feel free to put it in the chat so that I can answer it. But I think I have gone over everything. Just as a quick recap, so for good customer service, you definitely want to make sure, like I said, it is kind of like common sense, but utilize soft skills. Talk to people like you would want to be talked to. Stay at a nice even level. Like, try, you set the atmosphere, you set the tone of the conversation. If someone comes in upset, you try to bring them down to your level because you are the thermostat. De-escalate the situation. Like oftentimes, I know somebody is like upset, and it's not necessarily that I'm ignoring them, but it's like they want me to be upset. but I'm not going to get upset. So I'm like having a good time. And it's like, well, you might as well come on and have a good time with me because we both not going to be sitting up here upset. So I'll know that some patients are upset or something about something, or maybe they had to wait or whatever. But I go in there happy and bright and everything like that. Like, hey, we are going to have this might have happened in the past or whatever. This happened before I got here, but now that I'm here, we are about to have a good time and we're going to have a good experience and we're going to get through this eye exam and get you on your way as quickly as possible or whatever. And oftentimes when you do that, it definitely helps the situation. And I know before I said you want to acknowledge that there was an issue or whatever. So if I know that they're upset because they were waiting, of course I'm going to say apologize about the wait. I'm going to get you going so you can get seeing and getting on your way as soon as possible or whatever. I don't just apologize. I tell them what I'm going to be doing next to make it a better experience for them as well. Okay. So if you do make a mistake, mess up, get someone upset, yes, apologize for it, own up to it, but tell them what you're going to do to try and fix that too in a nice and positive way as well. So, soft skills, paying attention to the customer, setting the atmosphere. You're the thermostat, not the thermometer. Being proactive instead of reactive. Anticipate the needs of your customers. Like I mentioned before, if they're constantly asking you the same questions over and over, you need to go ahead and address it. You might need to type something up so that they can say, hey, you can have frequently asked questions about our business or frequently asked questions about our services or whatever, so that they can go ahead and see what is going to happen, what is expected, why this product is recommended over the other product, that kind of thing. So be proactive and not reactive. Okay. All right. That is pretty much all I have. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I will be going live again tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Tomorrow's topic is going to be about imposter syndrome. That is something that often plagues us when we are trying to start a business. So, or just trying to do anything new, imposter syndrome. So, we are going to be tackling that subject on tomorrow. So, be sure to check it out at that time. All right. Until next time, have a good evening, everyone, and take care.